sure everything is good. Trade for trade, we should get Metroid on Xbox. It's like, that's not how Nintendo works.
Like, maybe Nintendo would benefit, but Xbox definitely has more of the benefit from putting their stuff on other platforms.
Yeah, all right, well, are you ready to start?
Yeah, I think I'm making a Twitter thread, and I'm gonna document the top 10.
Okay, cool. Actually, let me go grab my list.
The list.
Last minute adjustment here. Give me 1 second.
What games
Just make it a little switcheroo. Alright, cool.
After we go through our top 10, do you want to go through some games that almost made the list, or special shout out games?
I mean, do you want to do like honorable mentions? So before we start, I was gonna pull up the 2022 list because I got that one ready to go. Let's briefly go down that, and we can just talk about it and see how we still feel about it. And then, do you want to do honorable mentions first, or do you want to do our list and then say?
Let's save it because then we're not giving anything away.
Okay, yeah, I like that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, you ready to start it up?
Let's do it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 198. My name is Harrison. I am joined by my brother Nick, as always. Nick, this is a very special episode. We are doing our top 10 games of the year for 2023. Even though we are one podcast, we do have our own separate list, so we don't sit here and like have a fight over what should be number 1 and 2 and 3, like some other podcasts and websites do.
Yeah, we've never really done it that way.
Yeah, we've never done it that way, and I think it's kind of fun just going down. So we're gonna start at the bottom, start at number 10, and then just make our way up to number 1, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, but we'll do some honorable mentions, talk about games that maybe might have made the list, that were just edged out by other games, but man, just to kind of start it off, what an amazing year for games. Like, this was by far the hardest top 10.
I think so, because there were just so many games this year.
Like, I can make a top 10 of the 10 games that didn't make the list.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of that good,
And this is kind of I feel like a record year for myself, because I did play just a ton of stuff this year. Mm-hmm. New and old. Mostly new, because there was just, at some point there was literally every week there was something to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a definitely a good year for video games. Obviously not so great for developers. So hopefully that trend does not continue into this current year, into 2024. So just definitely wanted to acknowledge all the developers that did lose their jobs at some point over the year at various companies. But man, yeah, we got some good games.
Yeah, we got some great games.
Before we dive into what we'll play, we're gonna briefly talk about what we've been playing, and we'll um then we'll dive into the top 10. But Nick, before we dive into what we've been playing, how was your week?
Well, it's great. I'm down in Florida, down here for another week.
Nice warm
Uh,
weather, warmish weather.
it's been nice. Yeah, it's been 70s. Been relatively sunny here, so it's been really great. I I definitely missed this last year because we didn't go in my we're down here at my in-laws house in Florida, and we didn't go down last year during January, and I kind of felt like that seasonal kind of depression a little bit,
Yeah,
and it feels really good to be down here. Great weather, been able to skateboard a good
sweet.
amount, which has been great.
Posting
Um,
some vids,
posting some
like it,
vids.
love
You
it.
know, I love going to the skate park and recording for 30 minutes and then dragging out all that footage
Yeah.
throughout like an entire week of posting videos. So it's
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's the
yeah,
best. Yeah, when you can get like, yeah, I mean that's what if we have like a really good. I mean, every podcast episode's good,
every
but I mean,
podcast.
if we have like, some crazy comments or some hot takes that we do, and we have like I could do like 5 or 6 videos and schedule them out. Yeah, that definitely
It's great.
helps. So yeah, I get that
Yeah,
sentiment.
because like why would I post, a 30-second video of 5 different tricks when I can
Yeah,
just post them one at a time? Like people aren't gonna watch the entire video anyways. Like that's how TikTok works. Like
yeah,
no one's gonna sit there and watch a longish video unless people are talking and they're listening to someone talking. But
right.
with skating, it's like you either like it or you don't. You either look at it or you don't. So
Yeah,
yeah, um, so it's been fun. It's been fun.
sweet.
Yeah. How's your week been?
It's good. It was one of those, it was a short week, but also a little bit long-ish because you always got to double the work coming in on a short week, but it
Yeah.
was good. Yeah, it was pretty good. I kind of didn't really play a ton of different games. I've just kind of been decompressing, I guess, since last year. I mean, again, we've had so many games
Mhm.
this year. So yeah, just been decompressing a little bit. Um, if we can dive into what we've been playing, I
Let's
picked up
begin.
The Walking Dead again.
Okay, I saw that on the list. Is
It's
that
it's on Game Pass. It's the Telltale Walking Dead.
okay? Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I was in the mood for it. I don't know. I was just in the mood for something like very story heavy with kind of not so much gameplay, and that's exactly what The Walking Dead. Have you played the Walking Dead game?
I've played the first 2 seasons or parts or whatever it is,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
but yeah, I haven't finished it.
so yeah, I've also played season 1 and 2. I'll probably make my way through all three and get to the season 3 and see how that turns out because I've never played it. Um, really good. It's definitely aged a little bit, but I think the
Mhm.
art style does hold up a bit. With
It's
kind of
like
that
kind of
cell
cell shaded.
shade-ish kind of look. Um, that engine is a little bit rough. It was rough back in the day.
Yeah, it is.
But it's definitely a lot of fun. I think Lee Everett is like he's probably one of the best like gaming protagonists of all time. Like if there's a top 10 list, he's
Mhm.
got to be on there at some point. Um, yeah, he's great. Like yeah, his whole story with Clementine and all the other characters and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh my
And
god,
I
that's
I
such a good
didn't
story.
remember a lot of the stuff. I'm sure I made some of the same choices, but uh, yeah, it's really good. I finished it up, and then I did there's also like a special episode that I hadn't done before, like
Mhm.
400 days in or something like that, and it goes over like five different characters like at various states in the apocalypse. Like some are like 2 days in, some are 300 days in, and then eventually they all come together, and it's the 400th day or whatever.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, it was really good. I'm excited to dive into to season 2.
So
So
you've just played season 1 so far?
Yeah, I started on Saturday. I mean, they're pretty short episodes. There's 5 episodes total, maybe an hour-ish a piece.
Mhm.
Yeah, that whole arc is really good, so I love
Yeah.
it. And season
Yeah,
season
that
2, I
first
don't
season
remember a
was
lot either, so I'm sure there'll be some stuff that I
is that
forgot,
is
but
that when they're, like, on the road a little bit
yeah,
more?
they started out, like, at that, like, motel,
Yeah.
and then yeah, then they go to, like, the farm and meet the dairy farmers.
Oh my god, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, and then they go back to the hotel, and then yeah, then they eventually they have to leave, and shit hits the fan very quickly, as
Oh my god, that dairy
stuff
farmer.
does in The Walking Dead and zombie games. But yeah, I forgot how much I liked like Telltale games.
I really
So
wanna play the Borderlands one because I heard that one's, like, the best one out of all of them.
see, I thought the what is it? The Wolf Among Us? Is that? I know that was Telltale. I can't remember if
That's
it's
Telltale, yeah.
yeah, because I think there's a second season coming, if I'm not mistaken,
Still?
or maybe it got canceled.
I know there's,
Well,
like,
I
the
thought
new
I
Tales of
thought
the Borderlands.
see, I thought they had announced a second season or like part 2 or whatever after Telltale came back, but I could be
Didn't
wrong.
they go out of did they go out of business again? Are they still back?
No, they're still
I
back. They just put
they're
out
still
like that
back, okay,
Expanse game. I don't know how well that did for them, but um
okay.
yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, really good. Yeah, it's it's amazing. I love it.
Nice.
It's exactly what I needed.
Yeah, like, a little, like I would say, like, it's good to decompress in that game, but it's a pretty stressful game.
Yeah, I definitely it's just definitely stressful. It's definitely tear jerking too.
Yeah,
It got me a couple times.
and it's stressful when you not only have to make hard decisions, but you're timed.
Yeah,
Because 'cause aren't you timed in those decisions? Like, you only have, like, a
you're
couple of
timed.
seconds to answer?
Yeah,
So that makes it even more stressful, but, like, it kind of adds to the experience, you know, like, that it's kinda like real life, like, you only have a few seconds to decide
yeah. To
one way or the other, like, I mean, I should go back and play this game too. I
yeah,
wish it was on
it's fun.
Switch.
It's on the Switch, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah, I
On
think so.
Switch?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
maybe I'll pick it up
But
on
it's also
Switch.
cool because you could. I think even in the split second decisions. I mean, you have to like read what's going on, but you can pause the game at any point in time during a cutscene or in the gameplay. So, yeah, I think Alicia would like. I think she would like to
I
watch
think she
along
would
with
love
you.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good. All the characters are super engaging and stuff like that. So,
Oh, it is on Switch.
yeah,
Okay.
it's on everything. It's like on iPad and iPhone. I mean, it's on everything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, real good. That's
Okay.
it. I haven't touched Halo anymore. Taking a break of that until season 6 comes out. Um,
Did you end up picking up Dave the Diver?
I did pick up Dave the Diver and I played like 10 minutes of it and I was just not. I wasn't feeling it. Not that
Okay.
I don't want to play it, but I just I just wasn't in the mood for it.
No, that's fair.
So,
Well, that's all I've been playing this week is Dave the Diver. I wasn't super hot on it last week.
yeah,
And
you're kind of negative.
I was being a hater, I'm not gonna lie. I was hating on the cell phone usage and uh, I don't know what else I was hating on, but I've
But
I've but I've turned around, man. I'm kind of I'm kind of loving it right now. Like every single day and like a day in this game consists of you diving twice. So
yeah.
you have 2 sessions of diving, and those can be as long as you want. You know, as long as you're not running out of oxygen, and you can find oxygen down in the
Yeah.
water. So it's not like you're constantly depleting and you have to return to the surface all the time. But it's 2 sessions of diving, and then at night you run the sushi restaurant. So you're catching fish, and you're serving it at night. I'm able to serve beer now, so that's fun.
Nice.
But now I have like a whole staff of like I have a whole crew of staff. So I have 2 servers. I have 2 additional people making the sushi.
Okay.
So I don't even pour drinks anymore or anything like that. I'm just like this, like actually like serving the food to people. So that's been kind of more fun and like less stressful. Like,
That's kind of like the Stardew Valley Harvest Moon thing where it's like
yeah, it's like optimizing.
yeah, it's optimizing and then you eventually get to the point where it's just like, yeah, this is like a finely run machine.
Yeah, like every night it's like a 5-star rating now because
Yeah.
no one's missing out on food. I'm not pouring drinks anymore, so the pours aren't bad, and like everyone's like kind of optimized, and that part's really cool. and then kind of on top of that, like each day that goes by, you're kind of unlocking something new or unlocking a new area. Like
Okay.
right now, I've been, and this is kind of like later game stuff, but I like discovered an entire city underwater, and like that opens up like a whole different set of quests and different type of equipment and stuff you can get down there. And like even like late game where I'm at right now, I'm still unlocking new like not only like new content and new places to go, but new ways to play the game. Like I just unlocked like a fish farm. That's like a completely different section of the game. And then I unlocked like an actual farm where I could, you know, farm for rice and that kind of stuff. I'm
That's
like,
pretty
Jesus,
cool.
like when is this actually like when is the new content gonna stop? Because like
Never stops.
yeah, it's almost overwhelming because I'm just getting used to one thing or like, I've upgraded my equipment to the max and then the next day rolls along and for story purposes have to do something that involves better equipment
Yeah,
and suddenly I can upgrade my suit even further. So it's like you think you've done everything or you think you've seen where the game is going or where the game's headed and then another day rolls along and it kind of completely changes in a way. Like
that's
the
cool.
core gameplay is still the same. You're still fishing and you know bringing guns underwater and shooting fish and that kind of stuff. But like you're just kind of unlocking new ways to streamline everything,
Okay.
and that's been super fun. I did
Well,
not
that
think I'd.
sounds right up your alley with like how much y'all enjoyed like Stardew this year
Yeah,
or
yeah,
last
it's
year.
definitely reminds me of Stardew. You know, I guess minus I guess Stardew had a little bit of combat when you mine, but
Yeah.
when you go into the mines, but um, yeah, it's kind of like Stardew with combat, except there are like really cool bosses as well. So it's I don't know, like, I don't know what type of gamer this game is for, but I'm vibing with it right now, like,
Sweet.
I love just picking it up, playing through an entire day, which can range from 45 minutes to an hour and a half to get through it get through a full day, and then putting it down and, like, feeling like I kind of,
Is
like,
there
accomplished
I
something.
couldn't remember from the demo. Is there an overall like time span that you have to get the sushi shop back up and running and paying back like your debt or whatever?
No, there's not.
Okay.
It all kind of happens naturally.
Okay.
I don't know if is there debt?
Is there debt? I thought for some
I
reason
don't
I
think
thought you got a loan from somebody
if
to
there's
get it
debt, I
free.
haven't been paying it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe there's then there probably isn't.
Maybe it was like an implied loan or something that's
Maybe.
not actually gameplay dependent or anything.
Okay. Okay.
But
Well, sweet. Well, I'm excited to get. Yeah, I'm excited to get into it. I think. Yeah, I may play it through this week because I definitely starting next week. I'm gonna pick up that Prince of Persia game because that looks
it looks
excellent.
awesome.
So
Yeah. Are you gonna pick it up on Xbox or Switch?
I don't know. I mean, if it's
Might be a
Xbox, we
Switch
could do
game for me.
little splits, but
Could
because
do.
it's what a $50 game.
Yeah, it's 50
Yeah,
bucks.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe we should and you can get 120 frames
yeah. That's true.
on Xbox.
Yeah, that might be the way to go.
Maybe we should do that. But
Well, sweet. Well, before we dive into our top 10 games of the year list, we're gonna actually go into the past and look at our 2022 list. So I've got it pulled up here. Let me get it. Actually, pull up. There we go. All right. So, Nick, for your number 10, you had a Plague Tale Requiem. I'll just go down. I'll just go down the list. We'll do one by one. All right. So, Nick, you've got number 10, Plague Tale Requiem. Number 9, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. 8, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. 7, Triangle Strategy. 6, Pokemon Legends Arceus. 5, Neon White. 4, God of War Ragnarok. 3, Marvel Snap. 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And number 1, Game of the Year 2022, Elden Ring. I've got for my number 10, Splatoon 3. Number 9, Bayonetta 3. 8, High on Life. 7, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. 6, Signalis. 5, Pokemon Legends Arceus. 4, A Plague Tale Requiem. 3, God of War Ragnarok. 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And number 1, Elden Ring.
okay.
Based on yours, do you still agree with that list, or you think you would put something a little bit lower or higher?
I don't. I would take Mario and Rabbids off the list.
Okay.
And I would probably put Splatoon. Actually, no, I would put Cult of the Lamb
You like that
at
game a
number
lot.
10.
I'm surprised I wasn't on there.
I'm also surprised. I don't know why it wasn't on there. Everything else I think should have been on the list. I think A Plague Tale should have been higher for me.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy that game. I think that honestly could have been top 5. I don't know why I decided to rank that so low on my list.
Yeah, I loved Plague Tale. That game was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Pokemon. Well, I mean, Arceus was really good. I really liked that game a lot. But surprised to see a Pokemon game on my number 5. Yeah,
It was a good game, like, could I go back to it and enjoy it? I don't know.
not I don't. I mean,
Like,
yeah, if it was like the first time playing again, like yeah, definitely. But yeah, I don't know if I could go
I guess
back and like clean up.
that's an
But
interesting question, like, obviously for Elden Ring, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, like, games like God of War, like, you can go back to and enjoy,
yeah, yeah,
and they hold up, but for something like Pokemon Legends, Mario& and Rabbids,
yeah.
uh,
I beat that first world and I still haven't played it again. I probably won't ever go back.
yeah. Was there anything from your list that you would have changed or anything that
I'm trying to remember. I mean, I just don't know if I played that much last year. Like maybe I don't know because I did like Marvel Snap, but I didn't like it as nearly as much as you did.
yeah.
Um, I might.
Mm. Bayonetta 3, Callisto Protocol, like, would any of
Yeah,
those games make the
Callisto.
list?
I might have put. Well, no, I like Splatoon 3 a lot. Probably more than Callisto. I might have swapped around Splatoon and Bayonetta. It's I mean 9 and 10. I feel pretty. I feel pretty good about it. Um, yeah, I feel good. I feel good, especially the top 5. I feel really good about.
Yeah, I feel good about my top 5. Bottom 5,
Yeah, those. I mean,
I don't
those could
know.
switch it. Like honestly, like I kind of Signalis maybe could be like number 5. Like maybe switch Pokemon Legends and Signalis for me.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel pretty good about the list.
Like, I don't know why I didn't put Ollie Ollie World on there either. Like, I really like that game too. I had a bunch of my honorable mentions, but for some reason, I really wanted to have Mario& and Rabbids Sparks of Hope at number 8.
Because you beat that game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I beat it and I liked it at the time, but, like, comparing it to Kingdom Battle,
Yeah. Yeah, I
Kingdom
like
Battle just
Kingdom
so
Battle
much
a lot
better.
more.
Sparks of Hope was way too Ubisoft, if
See,
that
I just don't
if
remember
that
it that
makes
much.
sense. Yeah, it was just their classic thing of, like, adding more fluff to a
Yeah.
game, adding more, like, stuff to do that really doesn't impact the overall experience in
Yeah,
any way.
maybe I would have liked it more if I didn't spend $60 on it because it was literally like
Yeah.
$20 like a month and a half later. I was like, I should have just waited.
Yeah, I think I've learned my lesson with Ubisoft games, just wait.
Yeah. All
Cool.
right. I'm gonna switch over to our list here. All right. Well, Nick, it is that time for our
That time.
2023 Game of the Year top 10 list. Again, we are going to start at 10 and make our way down, or up,
Uh,
up. Yeah, make our way up. And
Numerically down,
yeah, but
categorically up.
yeah, yep. um, Nick, do you want to start it or do you want me to start it?
You started off.
Okay,
Do the honors.
I'll do the answers. Okay. So at number 10, I've got Metroid Prime Remastered.
There we go.
This was my first experience for Metroid Prime. It was incredible. There was it was exactly what I would expect a first person Metroid Prime or a Metroid game to be, and it lived up to that expectation. There's a couple of weird, I wouldn't say well not weird, but there's a couple of spots where the checkpoint felt a little bit off. Specifically one
Phase on mines.
Phase on Mines, yep. Specifically that. I think that's actually the only one. And
Yeah.
I did not care for that final boss either. The one after you fight Ridley. And it's like that giant worm creature, I think. Because
Yeah,
you have to use the different visors, and I just feel like switching the visors in that game was like like super cumbersome. Like it didn't feel good at all. Hopefully they tighten that up in Prime 4. And they may have in 2 and 3. I have no idea. But hopefully they tighten that up in 4 for sure.
Yeah, that was my one gripe with that boss is like,
And no checkpoints on that boss either.
yeah, I hate when like with a boss you can only damage it for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Like I think you should always be able to do some sort of damage to a boss, but then it opens up for a big attack,
Big attack. Yeah.
kind of like Metroid Dread. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Metroid Dread kind of acts that way, where you can do a little bit of damage a, until you can do your like
Until
kind
you
of
get to like,
big.
yeah, like they get like the end of the phase, or you do enough damage and it like lowers its shield or
Mhm.
stance or something, then you can go in for a big volley of missiles or something. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
But yeah, Metro Prime Remastered, fantastic game, $40, uh, stealth drop. I mean, it was awesome. Loved it.
yeah.
Nick, what's your number 10?
All right, my number 10 is Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Are you
I
surprised to see
I
it
thought
so
it would be
low
a
on
little
my
bit
list?
higher on the list.
So, if you would have asked me 2 months ago when it came out, I would say this is a top five. But
I think you specifically said, yeah, it's probably gonna be a top 5.
yeah, and I 100% did too. I did every level, got all the uh, purple coins, badges, all that stuff. Um, overall, like super fantastic game. Like I think this is one of the best 2D Mario's I've played. And granted, I haven't played every 2D Mario or close to it, um, but like I mean, you kind of said this too, but it doesn't do anything incredibly different from other Mario 2D platforms. And like in my head, when I compare it to other 2D platformers that have come out recently, like Celeste and Hollow Knight and Ori, like I hold and Hollow Knight, that one's a little bit different, but
Yeah.
I would kind of hold all those above Super Mario Wonder. And I think for that reason, it's a little bit lower on my list than
Yeah.
I initially thought it would be.
You know, that's I never thought about that, but if Nintendo made a Metroid Prime or a Metroid version of like Mario, a 2D Mario, that would
That'll be
be
sick.
absolutely incredible. Why haven't they done that? I mean, it makes perfect sense because of all the power ups and stuff. Um,
Yeah, like
man,
if you could
wow, that
full
could be
like
so cool.
if you could get upgrades, bank them, or get power ups, bank them, and then like upgrade them too.
Yeah,
Like upgrade your basic
man,
fireball to have like three
Nintendo,
fireballs at
hire
once or
us.
something like that. Like
I don't know anything about making a video game, but I'll give you some
I'll give you some
ideas.
ideas.
Yeah, because I mean, I felt that's kind of how I felt about the badge system. I thought it was like just I felt like it was pointless. Like outside of just the badge specific levels, those were relatively interesting. I mean,
Mhm.
some were literally like 5 seconds long, which is totally fine. But outside of those specific levels, like maybe like the one with like the flying cap or the floating cap was like probably the most useful, and the rest, like why would I ever equip like the bouncing spring Mario where you can only bounce like maybe for an
That
extra
one's like a challenge
challenge
one.
if you want
Yeah.
it, but yeah, the badge system it felt like underutilized.
Well,
Or
the
like
last level, like the very last level, uses all the challenge badges.
okay,
So it really made me hate all of the badges, especially the invisibility one.
gotcha.
Yeah, because that one comes into play at the very end of the game, and you have to obviously invisible, but you're going through the air and you have to
Yeah,
jump on
I
platforms
plan
without
on
really
beating
knowing
Mario
where
Wonder.
to go.
I'm never doing the challenge stuff. That just sounds like a nightmare. I'm good. I think with 3D World and that final level, that I think that just kind of killed my vibe
Did that
for
break you
yeah, that broke me for like man.
for doing challenges?
Yeah,
Would
for
you say that that's one of the hardest levels, like platforming levels that you've played?
probably. I mean, I thought the yeah, because I yeah, I mean, probably. Well, outside of maybe like Super Meat Boy, there were some really hard ones on that one. But
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Odyssey was kind of difficult, but that was only difficult because it was like so long, and there was no checkpoints in that one either. So it's like if you mess up on one part, you gotta like, and that's what I hate too. It's like all the levels are just ridiculously long for like the final for a lot of these Mario games, and it's like, man, come on.
Mhm.
But that's I guess
Yeah.
that's the point of it. But
Point is for it to be hard, I guess. But
yeah,
there's a fine line between hard and unfair and unforgiving.
yeah. All right. Any
All
more
right.
thoughts on Mario Wonder?
No.
Cool. Number 9. I think this might surprise you, Nick, but Liza P.
Hey,
Number
it made
9.
the list.
I love I really did enjoy this game. I love the aesthetic. I love the Pinocchio vibes. Again, I've said it before, but if you were to told me this was made by FromSoft, I would believe you.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there was I definitely had some issues with the bosses. Uh, and again, I said it before, but it's definitely a skill issue on my part. Just the pairing, I could never get the timing down.
No, I don't think it's a skill issue. I think the parrying is unforgiving
Yeah.
in this game,
Um,
more so than any other
yeah.
Souls-like.
And I just could not get that timing down to save my life. Too many bosses with two full health phase fights.
Yep.
Again, I don't mind a 2 phase fight. Like I thought, like Elden Ring had a pretty decent amount of them, but they were never, for the most part, there was never 2 full health bars. It was just 1 bar with with the second phase once you got about halfway down or whatever.
And if
Um,
there were, they were like pretty small health bars.
yeah,
Like even with Millennia, like
yeah.
they went down pretty quick.
Yeah, it went down super quick. And this one, there was just some bosses like the swamp
Ugh,
monster, swamp beast, whatever,
yeah,
that just had a
that's the worst boss in
ridiculous
the game.
amount of health for both phases. It was just, I
Mhm.
mean, I think at that point, like I'd gotten past the puppet master or whatever, after the buff or after the patch they did that lowered its first health phase, which helped drastically. But yeah, once I got to the swamp monster, I was like, I was this close to just being done with it, and I got lucky and powered through it.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, just I loved a lot about that game. Really cool moments, some really cool boss fights, but yeah, some of those boss fights just weren't. Yeah,
Some of them just weren't it, man.
yeah, just weren't it.
And I think they've been patched, and a lot of them are better now
Yeah, yeah. I
than
mean, I wouldn't mind.
maybe
Like,
when
I
I played through
started
the game.
like a second run. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the if it's whether it's a sequel or DLC for the Wizard of Oz stuff. I'm excited for whatever they have in
Oh
store
yeah,
for that. Hopefully they got some feedback on the bosses and stuff like that and make them a little bit more fun.
yeah. I mean, I think if they can just implement those patches earlier, like kind of proactively play test it more,
Yeah,
I think is the key. And like these types of games always have patches. They always, adjust based off of player feedback. Like it's one of those things where you're not gonna know until a million people have played it
yeah,
and
exactly.
they're all struggling with one boss. But um yeah, I mean that's just one thing they could improve on in any DLC or sequels.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Did they
I'll talk about that
confirm that
game
that
later.
Wizard of Oz is DLC?
No, they didn't. There's a
Okay.
separate DLC,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but they have confirmed, or they had like a small trailer for the DLC.
Well, now that it's not Mickey Mouse, it's Steamboat Willie. Now that
Steamboat
that's
Willie.
that's is in what's the phrase in the
The public domain.
public domain? Maybe we'll get a a Mickey
Yes.
Mouse based uh fro
Honestly, I mean,
Bloodborne.
I'd play it.
Yeah, yeah, heck
It'd be pretty
yeah.
cool.
Oh, they canceled school tomorrow.
Is it snowing tomorrow?
No, dude.
It's one of the. It's that classic North Carolina chance of
There's
flurries.
well, no, it's not even supposed to snow. It's a lot. It's supposed to be like 60 tomorrow. It's a lot of rain and wind, so they're canceling school.
Oh, okay.
But also the kids go to like a prep or like a charter school, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
All right, what is your yeah, I want Eliza P to be on there because I did like it a lot, but
Yeah, I feel like we both liked it. I loved it. I'll talk
yeah.
about it later. But like there was a point where you and I were both like jamming with that game and
Very, yeah,
vibing
very
with it.
much so. Like there was like that one like after like the sewer area, you kind of get into that decrepit castle and there's like that 2 phase boss fight that I beat on my first try.
Yeah, that was wild to me because that took me, a handful of tries.
Yeah, and I was just like, all right.
It's kinda weird.
I was like, am I God right now? And then I got humbled when I got to the puppet master or whatever.
Yeah. Hey, one second, I'm gonna let Snacks into the room.
Okay, sounds good. But yeah, Liza P, fantastic game, fantastic Bloodborne, like Souls-like game. I loved it a lot, and excited for whatever they do in the future. Nick is letting his little doggy in the room. Looks like she may not want to come in. We'll see. She
She
didn't
didn't
want.
come in.
She didn't want to come. Dude,
She was calling at the door and then she didn't want to cross the threshold.
I think sometimes animals just want to see what you're doing, and then they don't actually want to like be in the same room as you. Sometimes.
Oh yeah, she'll do that a lot. She'll be eating her food and then freak out that we aren't around and come like just
Yeah.
look at us and then go back to eating her food.
Yeah, our cat is notorious. Like I got to the point where it's like a 3 second rule. You got 3 seconds to come in or out of the house, and then after that, you're stuck, buddy.
I need to start doing that.
Nick, what is your number 9?
All right. Speaking of Souls like, my
Okay.
number 9, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon.
Wow. Okay.
Did you think this would be on my list or what did you think?
I thought it might have been a little bit higher. I thought
A
for
little bit
sure it was
higher.
gonna be on your list. I knew that I loved it a lot more than you did. I think same with
Yeah,
Liza P situation.
kind of flipped there.
Okay, well that's interesting.
Um,
Okay, I like it.
yeah, I really love this game. I mean, what game came out at the same time or around the same time? Was it Starfield?
Yes, this came out a week before Starfield did. This came
Okay,
out
so
like August 29th or 26th. It was in like late August, and I think Starfield came out the first week of September.
September. Okay, yeah, because I started this and I dropped it for Starfield, and looking back, I should have just continued playing Armored Core 6.
Yeah.
Um, but this is such a great, mech action game. I think it's a very concise game for as many missions as it has. Like it's a under 20-hour game,
Yeah.
and I feel like none of the missions waste your time at all, and
Yeah, I
and
mean
they
they're super
all they
quick.
all yeah, like all typically under 2 minutes, sometimes under a minute. Like they don't waste your time, they don't hold your hands,
Yeah,
and then
not at all.
you know yeah, and then on top of like the main missions being really fun, the individual AC battles, like the arena battles, those are awesome too. Like
Oh, they're great. You
I
can
went through
like
all those and
yeah, once you get like towards the end of the game and you've got some really strong arsenal. I mean, you can get through an arena battle within 5 seconds, 10 seconds.
yeah,
It depends. Yeah, I did. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy how build dependent some of the battles are. Like
yeah.
you can totally crush another AC in under 3 seconds in a main mission if you have the right build.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
that's just something like not every game is like that. And you
Baltius
can
might go down as like the one of the hardest bosses in FromSoft for like the
yeah,
first
the first main
main
boss.
boss. I mean, there's like that helicopter that you fight that's like kind of challenging.
No, yeah, that
Um,
one's tough, but definitely doable from the
yeah,
outset.
the
Whereas
Baltius was kind of cruel.
like I haven't sweated more
Yeah,
playing a game than I have when I was fighting Baltius.
yeah. It
Like I was like,
did you ever do New Game Plus at all?
I started it.
Okay.
I can't remember if I got to Baltius or not.
Nothing is more satisfying than fighting Baltius for the second time, New Game Plus with all your weapons and your arsenal, and just getting them.
Yeah,
30-second fight.
but nothing's worse than seeing Baltius show up again at the end of the game.
Yeah, he's. I wouldn't say the fight is nearly as difficult at the end of the game, but it's still challenging
It's
for
still
sure.
hard. It still took me 10 tries to beat.
Yeah,
Like ah,
yeah.
that
I'll,
game
I'll
was
talk about Armored Core more in a little
mhm.
bit, but yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm glad it's on your list. It's great.
I think the bosses they're a real standout
Yeah,
in this game, I think.
and the game is
Um,
beautiful. Like for it being on like did it come out on Xbox One as well?
I think it did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it runs great. And like the set pieces are really cool. Um, excited for excited for Armored Core 7. I'm all in. I'm all in on AC.
Would you consider going back in time and jumping into Armored Core 5 or
I thought about it, but they're really expensive. Um, unless they have them unless they have them digitally, I can find.
yeah.
I haven't actually looked, but I did Amazon. I looked on Amazon. They were like 70 to 80 bucks.
Damn. Okay.
So they're pretty rare. But all right. Let's see. My number 8 is Resident Evil 4.
Whoa. All right, this is a shock.
I knew I knew that one would kind of shock you.
Dang.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4. What can I say about Resident Evil 4 stuff? I've played it literally 30 million times. No, I love it. This is like Capcom has revolutionized remakes. Like they are the go-to studio for remakes. They
Yeah.
somehow make the games look just gorgeous. I'm talking about Resident Evil 2 and 3. The game is gorgeous. The gameplay is vastly improved. I mean, Resident Evil 4 is masterpiece back in the day, but it's definitely a hard game to go back and play with the control scheme.
Yeah.
They modernized it. They changed like the element of the story. Like even like Ada's mission is a little bit different from what I remember. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely different.
yeah, it's great. I mean, it's Resident Evil
Well,
4. It's
I,
amazing.
talk to me. I mean, why is it so low on your list then?
I think strictly because I have played it a million times. Like it's a great, fantastic remake. If this was the first time I've played it since 2006 or 2005, maybe, I would maybe have it a little bit higher on my list. Um, but that's not necessarily like I don't want to shame it that way, but I feel like there's some other stuff on the list that's a little bit higher for me.
Okay,
It's a
that's
great
fair.
game, man. I love it. I mean, I beat it. I played it four times, 4 times on New Game Plus going through, and then did separate ways. So I mean, I put like 60 hours into this game. I loved it. It was incredible.
Dang. So you hated Resident Evil 4? You're making me rethink my entire list. It's all built around Resident Evil 4.
It's yeah, Resident Evil 4 is the game of the year.
No, I mean,
Um,
I think that makes sense. Like, with how many remasters and re-releases this game has had, like, this release can only go so far, you
yeah,
know?
and it
And
went far. Like it's
yeah,
great. Like it is. I mean, when Resident Evil 2 got announced for remake, everyone was like, "We need Resident Evil 4. Like we need 4."
yeah,
And I think they delivered. I think it's still a masterpiece. Like the game is like incredible. Um, they didn't cut anything out, right? Like they did with 3, from what I remember. They did cut out the that U3 boss fight, right?
yeah, and that was added in
That was added
separate
into separate
ways.
ways. So like we got it. I mean,
We
granted, separate
got
ways
it
was
for
10
price.
bucks, but um, yeah, I just thought they did a really good job with the layout of the game and stuff like that. It was great.
All right, quick question for you.
Yeah,
What do you want next between Resident Evil 5 and Code Veronica?
I mean, I never played Code Veronica, so I would maybe that.
Yeah,
Because I
I'd
heard, I mean,
agree.
I've always heard that that's a really great entry into the franchise, but the controls aren't super good either.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that. I mean, shit, I take a Resident Evil like 1 remake to be honest, and have like modernize the controls. Like that could be really cool.
I feel like that
Um,
needs it. I want to finish that game on
yeah,
Switch,
I
but
do have it on Switch as well.
I just don't love the I don't love that type of gameplay, which is unfortunate
that
because
and then
that's
like
what
the
built off
ribbon
of.
thing where you can only have limited saves. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
Granted, I was using a guide, but when I was playing it, but yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I mean, I don't think Resident Evil 1 or like 0 would be next. Um, I feel like 5 is probably going to be the next one up, to be honest.
I think 5 would be a moneymaker more
Yeah,
so than Code Veronica,
yeah, because
just
I mean, you
to be
had the
frank.
co-op in there, like that could be super fun. Add it back in there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I would be happy with either, to be honest. I mean, I really enjoyed 5. Maybe take away that filter, that yellow greenish filter they had on there.
The
That could
filter that
that
was
could
on every other game back in
yeah.
2009 whenever that game came out.
Yeah. So yeah, I would be excited for either one, but we'll probably get an RE5 next, and I'm totally cool with that one.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, give me your number 8.
All right, number 8, Pikmin 4.
Pikmin 4, nice. Okay.
I mean, this game, like, I'm looking at a lot of the games on my list, and a lot of them, they're challenging, they have a lot of action, whatever. This game is just a joy to
Yeah.
play. It's one of those management games, um, both time management, resource management, that kind of stuff. So that kind of that scratched an itch I had back in July when I played it.
Yeah.
Um, it just has like it has a good vibe to it, Pikmin 4, and it's just a really just I don't know how to describe it other than it's just a really lovely game. It's very pretty.
It is.
It,
It might be one of the prettiest Switch games.
yeah, especially seeing all of like the real life objects rendered
Yeah, and
in the
even
game.
like the kind of like the set piece, like in the back, like it
Mhm.
looks really good. Like it's got that kind of like that blurred esque
Yeah,
view, but it looks really good.
yeah, almost
It
looks
feels like it's
photorealistic.
yeah, like it's yeah, photorealistic. Like it feels like it's appropriate as tiny as you are. Yeah,
This is like one of the rare Nintendo games that actually showcases, what they could do graphically if they went in a more realistic approach.
yeah,
And I think this is like kind of a glimpse of what we could see with something like Metroid Prime 4 if Prime 4 continues down the same path as Prime 3 and kind of goes more realistic. I think it could look as good as Pikmin 4, and that's
yeah.
that's super exciting.
I'm Prime 4 might be one of my like more hyped like next Nintendo games coming up.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
just
I think
the
it's
stuff
my
that I've heard. Um, yeah,
kind of how it's like open zone or
yeah,
open
open
more than
zone,
world.
like
Yeah,
almost like Halo Infinite esque. Like,
that'd be sick. I mean,
man,
I'm sure they'll have a grapple in there or something like that.
yeah.
Be cool.
Anyways, Pikmin 4.
I think before. I still need to go back and do the last and finish up the last like post game area,
Okay.
but the first post game area had a good amount of challenge and like there's like so much content in this game, so much more than
Oh
Pikmin
yeah,
3
yeah.
and
The post game stuff is great,
yeah,
and
like
that
I
last like challenge. I think it's like 10 stages where you go in like to the underground. There's like yeah, that's a lot of fun too.
yeah. Yeah, like compared to Pikmin 2, I played that one as well this year and
Yeah,
yeah, that one was
I bought the dual pack, but I haven't played it yet.
by physical.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I played Pikmin 2 and that one was like it was fun enough and a lot of Pikmin 4 is built off of the foundation of 2, but
yeah,
Pikmin 2 just didn't have a ton of content compared to Pikmin 4. Like Pikmin 4 is a roughly 20-hour game, 20-hour plus, depending on
yeah.
how much content you do. I mean, you played it more than I did. Do you remember how much time you had clocked in the game?
Let's see. I got my Switch right in front of me.
Oh, perfect.
Let's see what we got going on.
Let me see if mine's still on here. It's still on my list, or still on my recently played list. Yes, I put between 15 and 20 hours in.
I got 30 hours or more.
Damn.
So
All right, I expect to see this game on your list somewhere.
we'll see.
Yeah, Pikmin 4.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great game.
I would say like based off of all the Pikmin games I've played, and I've just played 2 and 3. Didn't play the first one, but it's definitely the best
Okay,
so far.
sweet. All right. Well, my number 7 is Dead Space remake.
There we go.
Yeah. Um. Again, I mean, this between Resident Evil and Dead Space, I was really just okay. 2 remakes that are survival horror. This one I think just made it a little bit above for me because I am so nostalgic for the original Dead Space,
Yeah.
and I haven't played it since really since it initially came out, and I played it probably 3 or 4 times back in 2007. But man, probably like one of the best looking games of the year. I mean, this game
Yeah.
was incredible. I can't remember. I'm having a blank on the studio name, um, but just
EA Motive.
was it? Yeah, it was Motive. Yeah,
Motive. Yeah.
um, yeah, they did a fantastic job with the lighting, with the sound design. Incorporating like the spacewalking and like the jetpack stuff in the game that wasn't in there originally, and then
Hmm.
the fact that they took the ship and made it one giant cohesive like a ship. Like it was cohesive. It wasn't. Yeah, you could use the tram and go back and forth to each station, but you could also walk there if you wanted to. That wasn't in the original game, um, where it was cohesive like that. So yeah, they absolutely nailed it. It's like, to me, Dead Space is like the perfect space horror game. I think it's just
Yeah.
incredible. And yeah, they absolutely nailed it, and it's incredible. I love it.
So obviously you like this game a little bit more than Resident Evil 4. I would argue that Dead Space is a better remake than Resident Evil 4 is, based on the grounds that Dead
Yeah.
Space had a lot more to improve compared to
Well, I
Resident Evil
mean,
4.
I don't know, because I feel like Dead Space, you could already. I mean, like the as far as like the third person goes, it was already pretty good. Like Resident Evil 4, like the pop and the stop and pop kind of gameplay was fine during the time, but um, I would say Resident Evil 4 probably needed more of a remake than Dead Space did. Um,
I think so.
I think so. I, I would go
Or
back and
maybe
play. I would go back and play like the first mission of Dead Space and just compare it, because it still feels pretty good. I mean, it's definitely, not as, it's not 60 frames per second or whatever, but um, it still feels pretty good. But yeah, I think,
I guess
yeah.
I guess Dead Space is more recent too.
I
Like
mean,
it
Dead
launched
Space
on the
was
360.
'07 and Resident Evil 4 was 2004, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
So
so
that
4.
was pre Gears of War, which kind of revolutionized third person shooting, and then Dead Space came a year later.
Yeah.
Um,
So it was already building off of the foundation.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, maybe
that's good.
maybe Dead Space has like more quality of life improvements outside of combat
Yeah,
compared to Resident Evil 4.
yeah, I would say
I don't know.
I would say that's fair. Yeah, I would say go back and just boot up Dead Space and just play that first, like, you know 30 minutes or so, and
Yeah,
it'll probably feel pretty similar.
I
But yeah,
think
I think I just enjoy it. I definitely think RE4 is more replayable than Dead Space was, 'cause I think I only beat Dead Space maybe twice. Um, but I think overall I was more impressed with Dead Space,
mhm.
and compared to the three remasters on this list so far. But yeah, Dead Space is incredible.
Yeah.
Nick, what's your number 7?
Number 7 is Metroid Prime Remastered.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean this is my first time through Metroid Prime 1, and yeah, I just had an incredible experience with it. I think the exploration in this game is absolutely top notch.
Yeah,
I think that's, you know, what really drives this game more so than, the boss fights or, the atmosphere, but just the exploration itself and the sense of discovery and sense of wonder going into a new area. I think, that's kind of an unparalleled thing
yeah,
in this type of like first person action adventure game that a lot of others, like, they don't really evoke that feeling as much.
yeah,
Um, so I think this took Metroid, the 2D version and really like brought the spirit into 3D.
yeah.
And yeah, it's super cool. Like,
Did they ever have a fast travel mechanic in that game?
no, it
I,
didn't.
I would maybe have liked to seen that in the game, where you could fast travel between like save points or something. Maybe later on in the game, like towards the end, that you unlock that ability or something like that.
Yeah. But
just so you can
I
go
guess
back and clean up stuff. But I mean, you can.
you can get around pretty fast by the end of the game once you have
Yeah.
the grapple.
Also, did you like the map of that game? I feel like it was a little bit confusing sometimes.
Yeah, I thought it was. It wasn't great. I thought it was
Yeah.
okay. It started to make sense at the end,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
maybe that was too late. I didn't like how I think it was the right joystick controlled like the movement on the map, and the left one controlled like the how you were turning the map. I wish it
Yeah.
was switched. I think that would have made it easier or more intuitive. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
wasn't the wasn't the best part of the game.
No, no. Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, good game.
Yeah, yeah. I still agree with your sentiment on the checkpoint system, especially in the phase on mines, and that's really the only area that had
Yeah, that's the only
any
part
weak
that I
points.
really struggled with. And I was just
Mhm.
like, man, this is like actual kind of BS.
Yeah, but yeah, otherwise, like really great game.
Cool. Yep. I definitely agree. All right. Let's move on here. So we are
Go to
getting
number
ready to. Yep,
6.
number 6. You're going to clear up this bottom 5 here. My number 6 is Pikmin 4.
Heck yeah.
Um, really not much to add from what you already had to say. I mean, I thought this was probably my biggest surprise of the year. I didn't expect to love this game this much. I had never really been a Pikmin guy in the past. I played the first one. I don't know if I beat it on the GameCube. Um, Obviously didn't love it. Um, and then never played through. I mean, I played the demo for 3 and always planned on picking it up, and I just never did. Um, and then played the demo for this one, and I really enjoyed it. So I was, I'll give Pikmin a shot, and it's incredible. I mean, I put 30 plus hours into it, 100% of it. I thought all the levels were really good. Um, I enjoyed, for the most part, I enjoyed all the Pikmin. I felt like a couple of them were kind of useless towards the end.
Yep.
Um,
Agree.
but like the post game content is really good. Yeah,
Yeah, those 2 levels are pretty pretty incredible.
yeah. Is that the Olimar level you're talking about?
No, just like the 2 like main post game
Okay.
overworld areas.
Did you do Captain Olimar's like?
No,
Okay, so yeah. Oh
I didn't.
man,
Yeah, I need
that's
to
like
get
a
to it.
major like that actually. That one's really cool because that one gives it kind of it's like a throwback to the original Pikmin because you only have 15 days to get through it. Um,
Maybe I'll boot up Pikmin 4.
and
Let's
it's
see.
not like difficult or anything like that, but
Mhm.
yeah, it kind of gives those the original Pikmin vibes. Yeah, really good, and it gives like the backstory of how Olimar crashed and stuff like that. So yeah, I would recommend it. It's good. It's only a
It
few hours,
Does
maybe
it
if
take you
that.
to any new areas, or is it retreading?
Retreading. Yeah, definitely
Okay,
retreading. I
cool.
don't think there's a new area. And I think you only retread like maybe 2 areas. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for Pikmin 4.
Pikmin 4.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I would say Pikmin 4 maybe one of the biggest surprises
Yeah,
of the year.
it's good.
Yeah.
There's
All
already
right.
rumors about Pikmin 5 too. Like that's like getting close to being done. That's what I've heard. So
Man.
I don't know. Maybe these games are just like not super challenging to make. Maybe I don't know.
But yeah, maybe the what was holding them back was just like them not having a team to focus on it.
Maybe. But I
Right.
mean, apparently Nintendo just holds on to their games. So I mean, maybe Pikmin 4 was done and ready to go in 2022, and they just held on to it. So who knows?
Yeah.
All right, Nick.
Um,
What's your number 6?
all right. My number 6 is Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate.
It's one of the only games on this list that I haven't finished yet,
Okay,
but I've put about
but you're confident
40
enough.
hours into it. Yeah, I'm
That's plenty.
confident enough.
That's plenty.
Yeah, I mean that's a long time, and you know part of the reason why I'm like I'm still only halfway through the game, probably less than that at this point, is because I've just been enjoying like exploring and going around and trying to do everything, and I haven't felt kind of the pressure to further progress the story. Like
Yeah.
there's a point in the game where you go from act 1 to act 2, and you can take 2 very different routes to get to the next area, and I started down this one path and kinda got to the end of it, and I was like, "Okay, I kinda go back and, like, see everything else that happens on the other path." So I just went back and started down that, and that's when I left to come down to Florida, so I haven't played it in a few weeks, but,
Yeah.
um, yeah, like, I like the game so much that I don't really care so much about finishing it. I just wanna keep on playing it and
Just seeing.
seeing new content, seeing
Yeah.
new things
I
that
will
can
get
happen.
into Baldur's Gate 3 at some point this year. I don't know when, but I will.
It's really great. It's it's really a really awesome game, even
Yeah.
from someone who has never played D&D before. Like, I don't think you need to have a lot of knowledge of it to go in. I
No, no.
obviously had 0 knowledge going in. Uh, yeah, I mean, really the only reason it's not higher is because I haven't
Finished it.
gotten further in it than
Yeah.
I have. You know, if I was close to beating it or somewhere in act 3, it would probably be in my top 5
Okay.
somewhere.
That's fair. I mean, but that's still really good for a game you haven't fully experienced everything yet. So that's high praise.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we jump into our top or yeah our top five here, we'll go down the bottom five and just remind everybody. So for myself, got at number 10 Metro Prime Remastered, number 9 Liza P, number 8 Resident Evil 4 remake, number 7 Dead Space remake, and number 6 Pikmin 4. And for Nick, we've got number 10 Super Mario Bros. Wonder, number 9 Armored Core 6, number 8 Pikmin 4, number 7 Metro Prime Remastered, number 6 Baldur's Gate 3. That's good. That's a good list. I
It's a good
I
list.
hate Resident Evil 4, and Nick, you hate Armored Core 6. So,
That's right.
all right. Well, let's let's go jump into our top five here, Nick. Do you want me to continue going first, or do you want to switch it up?
I'll start this one.
Okay.
All right, my number
Do
5.
do we want to guess each other's
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
from
do that.
going?
Let's do
Okay.
that.
Let me look at this stuff here. Okay. All right. Number 5. I'm gonna say Sea of Stars.
You would be incorrect.
Okay.
My number 5 is Alan Wake 2.
Okay. That was gonna be my second guess. Okay.
Yeah, this game is it's kind of moved around in my top 5
Yeah.
over
Same.
the
Same here.
past couple of days and weeks. The more I've gotten away from it, it's kind of fallen a little bit lower.
Get out of the recency
And
bias.
yeah, just kind of getting out of the recency bias. I think this is truly a phenomenal uh, horror game, survival horror game,
Yeah.
narrative horror game, whatever you want to call it. Um, I love Saga's portion of the game. I think it's it kind of embellishes Resident Evil 4 in a way, except
Yeah.
it's more rooted in survival horror than Resident Evil 4 is. I don't even know what it would be closer to between that and Dead Space. I mean, probably Resident Evil 4.
I, yeah, I would say out of the three, this one's probably the most survival horror. Considering,
Yeah,
and it's funny considering the first one wasn't even. It was just an action
it's
adventure
an
kind of
action game.
game, action shooter, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, this one is like it's like deep survival horror. Like
yeah.
you're
You were running on
running on empty,
yes,
running on
yeah.
empty the entire
90
time.
95% of the game, you were on E.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, I have to use this crossbow, and I
Yeah.
can't miss, or
No,
else
no, you're screwed.
I'm toast. I'm cooked.
Yeah, I died a lot in this game, but
Yes.
it felt fair. Like it was never the only spot that I really got mad was when you're in the hotel as Alan and you have to do that run sequence when you're
Oh,
trying to get away from Scratch.
yeah.
There's like a run sequence in that part, and there's a couple spots where I wasn't I was not I was I guess touching the shadow people and like it gave me a game over.
I didn't have that happen.
I probably had to redo that part maybe 5 or 6 times,
Dang.
but evidently
Yeah, I
didn't have
never
a
had that
problem
happen
with it.
with me.
Well,
I guess I was just, like, really good at the game or something.
I was
Just
just too good.
incredible. No,
Yeah.
I died a lot to the bosses in this game. I thought those were pretty difficult, but as far as, like, survival horror bosses go, I think this one had some
I think so.
pretty good bosses,
Yeah.
I would say. the only, and I hate to say this, but like the only thing that kind of brought it down for me a little bit was Alan Wake's section. I just think that one wasn't as strong, and I attribute that to the shadow people that you know there's not really like that satisfying feeling when you hit them or when you shoot them or anything like that,
Yeah.
like you do with a real person. And that kind of got to me throughout the game. And by the end of it, I was ready to be done with his section.
Yeah, the vibes were definitely different with I loved um the storyboard stuff with him
Mhm.
and transforming the scenes. Like I love that part. But yeah, I think the actual game, like the the fighting and those sections were pretty mid, I think.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, which yeah, I definitely think Saga's was portion was way stronger and it felt like a proper survival horror. And I guess Alan Wake was just the first game. It was kind of just like
Yeah,
that. But yeah, yeah, I think I agree with you for that.
yeah, I definitely liked the kind of the atmosphere and the kind of middle of nowhere vibe of Saga's portion compared to Alan Lake being in a version of New York City
Yeah,
and you know fighting these shadow creatures that just eat your bullets and
yeah,
don't
yeah.
really
You go
die.
through some
So
bullets on those on that
yeah,
portion.
but that being said, like
Still,
still a top five game. Like
yeah,
I think this story itself is really incredible and
yeah. I
and
can't
and, and
wait
really takes a
for
lot of cool turns.
the DLC to learn to finish it up. Yeah, because there's two expansions coming or two
Oh really?
DLC. Yeah, because I mean, we still gotta get a conclusion on Mr. Door, like the talk show host.
Hmm.
And then I can't remember his name, but the police officer that's in Alan Wake's section. We don't get a conclusion with that, so we gotta get that. I imagine, and then whatever happens after the game ended. But
Yeah.
yeah, great game.
All right. What's your number five?
What do you think it is?
I think it's Sea of Stars.
You'd be wrong. It's Dredge.
Dang.
um, Dredge, man. This game blew me away. I loved everything about Dredge. It was it's kind of like that what's that term that Nintendo loves? The feel good. What's the feel good term? The cozy game. It's like a cozy game combined
Yeah.
with Cthulhu horror. Uh, so it's very cathartic. It's very you're like, all right, today, I'm going out to sea. I'm gonna get some fish.
Hmm.
Um, and then like the whole kind of the Resident Evil cache case with you have to sort the fish and all of your stuff, and then you upgrade,
Yeah.
and you eventually get a net, which it makes it fishing a little bit easier. So you get that Stardew Valley kind of vibe where you can kind of streamline the production, and then the story is really good. I really enjoyed the horror story. All of the supernatural abilities you get are pretty cool. Um, all the different environments you go to are are interesting and unique, and there's like a kind of like a almost like a tall tale kind of experience with each of those. They all have like a unique story based on that specific area.
Yeah.
Um, and then while it's DLC, I thought the Pale Reach was also a really excellent addition to the game. I think it's like $6. Um, so and that's probably a few hours, but yeah, I just was blown away by this game. I loved it.
Nice. I'm sad it's not on my list.
Yeah,
I really liked it. I just didn't click with it as much as you did, but
yeah,
I can definitely appreciate how good this game is, and I just loved how quick it was when you're
yeah,
transitioning from day to night to day. Like
yeah. Super
this game
super
doesn't
quick.
waste your time. Yeah,
Exactly. I love when games don't waste my time. That's always a good
that's
feeling.
great. Yeah,
But yeah, Dredge is a great game. Highly recommend if anybody that has not picked it up. All right, Nick. Well, let's see. We're at number 4 here. Let me look at the rest of my list. Compare it.
because there's some games on yours that will be on mine.
has a shot of being on your list. Did you like this game as much? I'm gonna go Sea of Stars, number
Sea of
4.
Stars again?
Yeah.
You'd be incorrect again.
Dang. What's your
Number
number 4?
4, Lies of P.
Lies of P. You know, I almost kind of forgot Lies of P. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Lies of P. I really, really love this game, and it just reminded me so much of Bloodborne. And obviously, I don't think it's as good as Bloodborne, but it definitely got as close as you can get without getting your eyes wet. So I
Yeah.
I really, really, really enjoyed this game. I think the exploration was great. All the weapon combinations, I thought that ended up being like really cool.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know, just a really fantastic game. Like I ended up loving it much more than I thought I would. And I think I only played through it once, and then I got up to the swamp monster the second time and struggled with it again,
Yeah.
and then finally beat it. And that's when I put it down. I was like,
Okay.
okay, I'm not gonna finish out this game a second time. But I think its strong point is really its atmosphere in
For
the
sure.
actual combat and gameplay itself, and of course, like all the weapon variety. Um, Weak points, the bosses.
Yeah.
I think you touched on it, but those bosses could have been improved, especially the very last boss, and that one was patched over, thankfully. But it was patched over after I beat it. And I spent
I couldn't
way
even
too
like
long.
fathom being that boss pre-patch. God.
It's stupid hard. Yeah, between that and the swamp monster, it just had one too many like excruciatingly punishing bosses that
Yeah.
um, it could have been a 10 out of 10 game if those bosses were just kind of locked in a little bit better,
Yeah, I
and
mean
then
that's
the
that's the
parry being
most
better too.
that's like the biggest thing with these games is like the bosses. Like, the bosses have to be, they don't all have to be great. There could be, it's always fun to have like a little gimmicky boss in the game every once in a while,
Yeah,
which I don't think there was one in this one. Not that it necessarily has to have it, but yeah, the bosses are so important in this game. Um and there was just a couple that I was just like, man, like this is so dumb.
yeah.
But yeah.
But that being said, I still think it's you know one of, if not the best Souls like game out there.
Yeah.
Obviously outside of like of FromSoft, I think it's really is the best one.
Yeah.
All right, what's your number 4?
What do you think it is?
Right, I keep reading. We're guessing. I think your number 4 is Alan Wake 2.
You would be correct.
There we
Nice.
go.
Yeah, Alan Wake 2. Again, not we're kind of getting to the point where, we kind of finish each other's thoughts for the most part, but yeah, I love this game. I loved Alan Wake 1 a lot. Um and the second they announced that this was going to be survival horror, I mean that's like our bread and butter.
Oh,
And I just, yeah, I thought, again, so I think Saga's part was the most interesting and the most fun to play, like just going through um Bright Falls and just seeing the weirdness in it. The subtle, it
yes.
just got, subtly weirder and weirder over time. Um yeah, and it was pretty, it was a pretty creepy game. There was definitely some parts um that were scary. Uh I think while the the detective part was really cool, it was also a lot. Like, if you were to like go through like every single new thing you find, you put it on you put it on the detective board, whatever it's called, in the Mind Palace or Mind Place.
Yeah.
And it's, for the most part, a lot of that stuff is skippable. And I was going back, and towards the end of the game, I was going back and just kind of going through like the folders that were marked that I hadn't gone through, and it was like going back to stuff that was like in the very beginning of the game, and I was like, why? It's like, it should have either just made me do this or not at
caught
all.
caught up automatically.
Because it didn't really matter towards the end. But other than that, like Saga's portion was fantastic. We already talked about Alan's portion was not as high, but definitely had some cool moments with the storyboard stuff, changing the environments. The Shadow people weren't the most fun people to fight, but also like hearing "wake" all the time was like pretty
Wake.
creepy. There's some pretty
Yeah.
creepy moments. Um,
Wake.
uh, so yeah, and then some like the boss fights, especially with Scratch, I thought were pretty fun. You have to incorporate the light and stuff like that to weaken him and then shoot him and then yeah,
Yeah, those
I
were
thought it was
good.
good.
Those were good fights. Nice.
Probably like arguably the best story of the year. One of the like two best stories, three best stories of the year, I think.
Yeah,
I
I
thought it
would
was
say
excellent.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I went too. Real good. All right, Nick, number three.
top
Let's
three.
see.
All right, Harrison, be careful.
Yeah, I'm
I think you know what the three are.
well. Let me see because our top three are going to be different. Let's see. I'm gonna say your number three is Resident Evil 4.
That's right.
Nice. I got it right.
I'm glad you didn't guess Sea of Stars again.
No, no. Resident Evil 4. Okay, yep, cool, sweet.
Yeah, I mean, obviously one of my favorite games of the year, one of my favorite games of all time. Like this, I think this remake was pretty perfect.
It
I
was,
don't
yeah,
think, yeah, like anything that was cut for the better, and then of course anything they added was just a bonus. Like I can't even think of everything that they added at the
like
moment, but like
the parry mechanic was great.
yeah, like the parry and the dodge, like that kind of stuff was really well implemented, and then just how they reworked the actual map itself. Like
Yeah,
everything felt more integrated with each other, which was really cool. And then um, you know, Resident Evil games are just so fun to replay, right? Like
oh yeah,
you always unlock cool stuff at the end. You can spend your CP on various guns at the end of the game, that kind of stuff, and it just makes replaying it that much more fun. Going through with
yeah.
the infinite rocket launcher
Oh,
or
so good.
you know some crazy weapon, rocket or grenade launcher, things like that. There's just so many ways to play this game. I think that just really lends itself well to fresh experiences each time.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's something you don't see with a lot of survival horror games, but Resident Evil 4 like really embraces the fun
yeah,
more so than, a game like Alan Wake 2 necessarily would. That one's
yeah.
very
I
very
thought
serious.
about maybe picking that up again since they add a new game plus.
Mhm.
But we'll see.
Yeah. I might pick it up too. I just don't know how different the experience would be
Yeah,
in New Game Plus compared to the first playthrough. But yeah, Resident Evil 4, number 3.
sweet. I love
Okay.
it.
I think I got your number 3.
Okay, what is it?
Sea of Stars.
You nailed it. um, yeah. See, this game blew me away. Like I love JRPG games. And it blew me away where I have Super Mario RPG and I just could not. I mean, I thought about it before, but I just could not. It just didn't click with me. I like it. I'm gonna go back and play it, but it wasn't the time for me to play it. And then I was like, you know what? Let me jump into Sea of Stars and see how that goes. And I was just immediately engrossed with the art style, the story, the gameplay. I mean, it just everything clicked immediately, and I played for like 3 or 4 hours, like a night for I don't know a week or whatever until I
Yeah,
finished it, and it was a ride. It was a roller coaster. Yeah, I mean the game never there was never a dull moment in the game. There was always all the environments were incredible. Um, the story takes a turn that I didn't necessarily see coming, and then when it did, I
mhm,
was like, "This is so awesome." Yeah, man, it's an incredible game.
it is. I'll talk about it soon, but yeah, it really is just like it's not bloated.
No,
It doesn't try to do too much. it's like exactly what it needs to be, and it takes turns exactly when it needs to. It keeps things fresh,
Yeah.
and like at the end of the day, like the combat is just fun, you know, and that's more than I can say about a lot of turn-based games. Like I love turn-based games, but a lot of them are
So this is
they
your
kind
number
of
two,
operate the
right?
same. You'll have to see.
Okay.
Yeah, let's dive into number two. Harrison, do you want? Is that your guess?
I'm gonna say it's gonna. Yeah.
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Unless you
yeah.
just love this game more than I thought you did.
No, I loved it exactly as much as you thought I did.
Okay. Yeah, I mean yeah, you're right. It's not bloated. It's perfectly paced. It gives you a breather in the story when like you need it.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of stuff that happens. And then once you're ready to continue the journey, it's just constantly new crazy stuff. Um, visually, it's God, I
I
love
love
it.
that art style.
It's
It's my
it's
favorite art style.
yeah, it's so beautiful. Like the animation they add for some of the cutscenes is so beautiful and so well
Yeah.
done. Um, yeah, I mean, there's like I liked all the characters. I thought a couple of them combat wise weren't super fun, um, or super different, I should say. Um, but like all the boss fights were really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's great. It's so good.
It is. Yeah, well, I wanna 100% this game. I just need to get back into it.
Yeah, I do want to go back and see it through. Um,
You should go play The Messenger.
okay.
That is it's this game is a
I think I might
prequel to Messenger.
I don't know. I don't think I have it on Switch.
It's pretty cheap on Switch.
Yeah.
It's normally discounted to around $8, something
Yeah.
like that.
I think it's like what, a $15 game normally?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you think my number 2 is, Nick?
It's like, do I wanna be saucy or not? I'm gonna guess Armored Core 6 for
You
number
got it.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I know he loved this game. I just don't know if he loves it more than what our number 1 is.
Yeah. Yeah, Armored Core 6, like obviously when they got announced, I mean it's obviously the sixth one in the franchise, but as soon as, FromSoft logo came out, Armored Core 6, I was like, "All right, you know what? I'm going to give this game a shot."
Yeah.
And it like I feel like I've used this phrase a lot this podcast, but it blew me away with how fun it is, how quick the action is. Um, it definitely felt more like in the early parts of the game. It definitely felt like you had to have a specific type of build for a couple of those bosses, and then like after the end of chapter 1 or 2.
Mhm.
It kind of just opens up and you can really just play around with whatever you want, and I really appreciated that. And for the most part, I think I used the same build for a while, and then I switched over at some point, because I think I needed a more close quarters build to fight a couple
You needed
bosses,
the Zimmermans.
the Zimmermans, and yeah, and I think I used the 6 shooter a couple times too, but yeah, the Zimmermans were goaded. And then once you get that what was it was like the lightning gun you get whenever you fight like the worm
Oh,
boss.
like, the shoulder weapon.
Yeah, but you can eventually get to where you have two, and it just wrecks. So that in the combination with two Zimmermans, like I just felt, and then I'd have like the quadruped. So I was like a big tanky guy that could just be up in
Yeah.
the air, fire my two um
I was just
snipe. I
blasted.
was just blasting, and then you just go in for the kill on when you get close to him. Yeah, the movement feels great. I mean, man, the only problem I think, again, it's a problem in every single FromSoft game. The camera can screw you up a lot,
Yep.
especially in some of those really fast paced boss fights. Because the lock on mechanic is not really a lock on mechanic. It does lock on,
It's
but
like a soft lock.
as soon as they get out of the way and change or get off your screen, the lock on's gone. So like I did have to fight against the lock on mechanic a lot during that game. That's the only really negative thing I could say about the game is, again, the camera.
Yeah.
Other than that,
That's classic
it's
FromSoft.
yeah. Other than that, it's beautiful. The set pieces are incredible. Would love to see an Armored Core 7 like on a proper current gen console or whatever next they have. Um, but it ran great. Uh, the arena mode was a lot of fun. I never did go into the multiplayer stuff, like the PvP stuff, because I feel like I would just get absolutely destroyed. Um,
Oh my god, I'm sure there are some
yeah, some super
ridiculous
super
players.
really good players out there, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, Armored Core 6. I did not expect going into this year thinking that Armored Core 6 had a shot at being potentially number one, but ultimately we all know what number one was.
Number one in our hearts,
Yeah.
number one in our minds.
um,
Nice.
yeah, Armored Core 6, good stuff. So, I
All
mean,
right, well,
it's got to be Tears of the Kingdom, right?
yeah, it's Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
I mean, well, yeah, what is there to say about this game that hasn't been said? I mean, this game not only builds off of Breath of the Wild, but it innovates and does its own thing completely with all of the building mechanics and crafting and that kind of stuff. Like, and you don't even have to really mess with that if you don't
Yeah.
want to. Like you said, you didn't use the building that much during the game outside of when you needed to, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do like a ton of like experimentation when I was just on like in Hyrule, like on the ground and stuff like that. Like I did bust out like the flying like go to little hover device that everyone like once that build came out, everyone used, and I definitely
Yeah.
used a lot of carts and stuff like that. I did, um, and then I eventually like I was doing a lot of the Korok stuff at the beginning, and then eventually got kind of tired of it. The one, especially the ones where like it's the guy with the giant backpack, and you gotta get him to his buddy. I got a little bit burnt out with
Right.
those. Um, but yeah, I dabbled in the building.
You dabbled.
Yeah,
Nice. Well, what was your favorite part of this game? I think I know your answer.
probably the depths, dude. Oh my, like the fact that the depths weren't even mentioned at all in any of the marketing leading up into the Tears of the Kingdom,
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
Tears of the Kingdom had a weird marketing like timeline anyways. Like there was just kind of just the trailers, and that was kind of it.
Until like
Um,
April, right?
yeah, and I think they showed one like brief glimpse of like the depths, and we obviously had no idea what it was. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I I had so like I the first time I went into the depths, and it's got like that giant like horn, the brr, and then you fall in, and it's just like you can barely see, and it's you go fight your first enemy, and then they just destroy you because you're just underwhelmed or underprepared and underleveled, or yeah, underleveled, I guess would be the phrase.
Overwhelmed and underleveled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once you get back in there and you start building some stuff, getting the flashlights and kind of understanding the mechanics of how it works, I had so much fun just exploring. And then once you learn that everything correlated with the mainland, like all
Yeah.
the rivers were mountains in the depths and vice versa. Um, and then like all the boss areas where there was something specific down there. Yeah, man, the depths like I going in, I think everyone was hyped for the
This is the
Sky
Sky
Island stuff,
Islands.
and those were honestly incredibly underwhelming in my opinion. Like I just expected
Yeah.
more
Wasn't enough.
story going on up there. I expected there to be like, I don't know necessarily civilizations, but I expected there to be people up there, and that obviously never came to fruition. Um, so I expected more out of the Sky Islands. I really enjoyed them, of course, but yeah, the
Mhm.
depths, the depths were incredible.
They were like even that like that dungeon area down in the depths. Like that was super cool too. Like it had its own like original content that wasn't, just purely based off of the inverse of
Are you,
Hyrule.
are you talking about like were you this the Sage dungeon, or are you talking about the like the big cube temple?
I think it's the Sage dungeon where like you have
Okay.
the four areas you have to go to and get stuff and bring it back.
Yeah, you
You
got
have
to
to get the parts
assemble.
to the
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that
and
was
then
cool.
all the like the railroad cart
Yeah,
paths you can
those
go
are cool.
down to. Like yeah, there's a bunch of interesting stuff down in the depths.
And then I love like I just talked about it, but the cube um what were they called? I don't remember, but they had one for each level. Like it was really cool. Or I guess no, they had
Cubes?
two, right?
Wait,
No, I
what are
think
these
no, it
cubes?
was three because you would start at the base. Well, I guess typically you would start at the Hyrule. Um, eh,
Like the labyrinths,
yeah,
whatever.
the labyrinths, yeah, and
Yeah,
then it would shoot you to the top, and then you would do that, and then jump all the way down into the bottom, and then fight the construct.
yeah, that's cool.
And yeah, oh man, dude, Tears of the Kingdom, man, it's and
But
I've talked about it before, but like I love Breath of the Wild, and I've always thought about going back and maybe replaying it, but it was a weird time for me. Again, thought about it before, but my son was born around that time, came out in March, and then my son was born in May, so um, I played a lot. I think I maybe put like maybe 40 to 50 hours into Breath of the Wild initially. Um, but
and you finished
obviously
it,
uh,
right?
I did finish it, yeah. But obviously like my mind was all over the place during that time, so I feel like I didn't get to fully appreciate it for what it was. So playing Tears of the Kingdom, I finally got like that realization of like, holy shit, this game is this world is amazing. Everything that they've added, like the whole cave system, like that wasn't even in the first, like in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that was super cool too.
So they added so much stuff. Yeah, man, it was amazing. It was an incredible experience. I mean, I think I'm like 130 hours in,
Yeah.
and I've done a lot of the stuff. Like I didn't get all the what is it called, like the bubble things where you go in the cave and get the
Oh
shoot the
no, there's
frogs.
so many of those.
Yeah, I think there's
I think
like
I got
80
an
or 90
update
maybe.
the last like main reward. I think I got the set.
Yeah, I got the set for sure. Um, but stopped after that. And there's some other side quests and stuff I can do.
Mhm.
Bummed out that they're not doing any DLC for it.
I know. I feel like they could have expanded on the Sky Islands even more with the DLC, but
Yeah, or just like added in just new
like new Zonai equipment.
yeah, Zonai equipment. Like that could even be kind of cool.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
also like I felt like that game was just a complete experience too. Like it was a
it was.
complete package.
Yeah, I mean, it was DLC isn't gonna complete this game. It's only gonna add to
No,
it.
no, no.
You know.
It was definitely feature complete. Definitely had some hiccups. You know, it wasn't always 30 FPS for sure. Um, I think that being said, I think if they were to do another game like this, get rid of weapon degradation. Take it away. I hate it.
I think
Please take
so,
it away. Um,
or at
and
least change it fundamentally.
yeah, and I don't know how. Just take it away. Just take it away. Um,
And
and
just have an upgrade system
yeah,
instead,
yeah, and bring back temples. I want proper dungeons.
because these were better than Breath of the
They
Wild,
were better.
but they still
Uh,
weren't dungeon level.
I just think, I mean, they do it in the game, at various times where they take away your stuff, like for the shrines and stuff like that. Like if you once you go into like a temple, take away your abilities to go through the floor or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Um,
and then you leave with a new piece of equipment
yeah,
that
new piece of like
like a hook
equipment.
shot or something,
Yeah.
something like that.
So yeah, that's tough because like I I don't know if I want a third one of these games again in the same Hyrule.
No, I wouldn't want it in the same high roll.
Yeah, I would want something completely different. Um, I love the open world, the complete open worldness of it for sure, but I do kind of miss like the traditional dungeons,
Mhm.
and kind of the Metroidvania esque elements of the game where you can't access
Right.
a place without a certain weapon or something like that. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
other
I
than
really
that,
don't know what they're gonna do for the next one. Like I have no idea
yeah, and
what
then I
direction.
just the design of the shrines, the spreading of the buttholes, like you just cannot unsee it. Like
Once you see it,
that
it's all you
stupid
see.
Kermit meme that was going around. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, and then just I guess um again, like major like Elden Ring vibes with just the overall community of just seeing all the Korok like destruction,
Oh my
like
god,
sacrificing
yeah,
the
people,
Koroks, like
yeah,
all that stuff is
sacrificing, blood
hilarious.
sacrifice.
Oh man, it was a great time. Tears of the Kingdom is it was incredible. It was I think it lived up to every bit of hype that it had and more. So
Yeah, I think Nintendo marketed it. At the end of the day, they marketed it really well,
yeah,
where they didn't show too much. They kind of hid the depths away
that's insane
and
to just
focused
think.
on the Sky Islands, and that Sky Islands were the best part of the game. I really enjoyed it, but
Yeah,
I
they were
just wish
great.
there was more of it. Uh, but yeah, the depths was just a completely new experience that no one saw coming, and yeah, that kind of threw everybody. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and
my
I
favorite
think
part.
in the next one too, I think if Ganondorf is going to be the big bad again, I don't want to be able to necessarily be able to go to him immediately. Like I want him to be more involved with like the present day story because
Mhm.
I just wanted more Matt Mercer to be honest. Like as a Ganondorf,
Yeah, yeah.
I thought he was incredible, and we just didn't get enough, in my opinion. So yeah, maybe have Ganondorf involved more in the story, like seeing him around. Like, but overall, I thought like this was probably one of the best Zelda stories. Um,
I mean, I think so.
it's
Yeah, I
not
mean,
saying
with
much. I mean, the Zelda stories usually aren't incredible or anything like super great, but I thought this one was really good.
I mean, even the story with the Master Sword alone, like
Yeah.
that was one of the best moments
Oh man, that was incredible.
in Zelda history.
Yeah.
Like that, and then of course, the end of the game was one of the coolest
Yeah.
moments.
Super anime
Yeah,
toward
yeah, yeah. Very anime.
that last fight. Um, yeah, and then just again just fighting Ganondorf for the first time and getting to that second phase and his health bar just continues
Just
like
kind of
I was like,
goes
dude,
up.
you're such a troll, man. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was sick. I want to get back and play that game again.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom
I
is.
wish they had a master mode or something.
See, and that's the thing too. It's where is that? Where's
I don't know.
maybe they'll do something for like its 1 year anniversary
You know what? It's gonna be Switch too. They'll have upgraded version with master mode and
with some cool
maybe some
stuff.
DLC.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Tears of the
Tears
Kingdom,
of the Kingdom.
number
Great.
one.
Game of the year
Game of the year.
is a lock in. All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap up episode 198. Hope you guys
Real
enjoyed
quick
it. Yeah, yeah.
before we close out, do you want to do any honorable mentions?
Oh, yeah, yeah, of course. Um, yeah. What's some of
We
your
can
honorable
just
mentions?
fire 'em off. Fire Emblem Engage,
Okay.
great Fire Emblem game, just terrible story. Hi-Fi Rush, really fun game.
Yeah.
Cocoon, really short indie game that it's a great puzzler.
That one
Almost snuck in.
almost snuck in.
Uh, I mean Dead Space remake. That
Yeah, I'm surprised Dead Space
it
wasn't on
was on my
there.
it was on my list for a little bit, and then it fell off.
That's all right.
I think that's it. I guess Starfield and Spider-Man 2. I would maybe consider Starfield the most disappointing.
Yeah, Starfield was definitely the most disappointing for me, for sure.
Yeah, and then
Like,
Spider-Man 2 just it's a Marvel movie broken out over 15 hours.
yeah,
And if you like that, then that's awesome.
yeah. Any more?
No, that's it.
Okay.
What you got?
Um, I'm gonna break them up to two categories. I still need to play Dave the Diver. Definitely want to go through that. And Baldur's Gate 3, of course. Definitely want to go through that more. Um, honorable mentions. Cocoon. I thought that was a really incredible like puzzle game. That yeah, it was kind of mind boggling the stuff they did with the in and out of going into different worlds and stuff like that. Really
Mhm.
cool game. That was probably the closest game on this list that could potentially sneak in. But ultimately I just didn't make it. But um, to that Jedi Survivor. I
I was surprised this
really
wasn't on your list.
what was that?
I'm surprised this one wasn't on your list.
when I was thinking about it, I think story wise, it wasn't the best. I think I enjoyed the first one a bit more story wise. Um,
Mhm.
I think the gameplay is a lot better. Um, with all the different stances and you have with the different lightsabers. Uh, but ultimately, it kind of like Spider-Man 2. It was a really good sequel that didn't like blow me away in any sort of any sort of way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Uh, so yeah, that was really good. Starfield, we talked about it. Just I enjoyed Starfield, but man, what a bummer that game was. Um,
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush, I do want to go back and play that. I was actually watching OJ's video about Xbox people losing their minds about it. And I was like watching some of
It's a
the
really
gameplay,
fun
and I was
game.
like, I forgot how good that was. So I need to go back and play that. Uh, it's probably it.
Oh,
I'm not far enough into Mario RPG to really say anything. Um,
yeah, that one almost made my list. That one
and
was on, like, a little bit.
Mario, oh, that one almost made your list.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was pretty close.
And then Mario Wonder, like I know that game is great. I just need to go and finish it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Last shout out, and this one wouldn't have been on the list because it's a DLC, but Xenoblade Chronicles 3:
Yeah,
Future Connected.
yeah. I
Fantastic.
did. I didn't finish that too.
Yeah.
So let's before we wrap up, we'll go through the list real quick. My list, top 10. Metro Prime Remaster, Liza P, Resident Evil 4, Dead Space Remake, Pikmin 4. Top 5 here, number 5, Dredge, Alan Wake 2, Sea of Stars, Armored Core 6, and Tears of the Kingdom. And
Nice.
for Nick, number 10, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Armored Core 6, Pikmin 4, Metro Prime Remastered, Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2 at number 5, Liza P, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Sea of Stars, and Tears of the Kingdom. So, uh, pretty similar list, I would say. I thought it would be a little bit more varied, but
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of
I
same
thought
stuff there.
Jedi would be on yours.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, more similar than I thought they would be.
yeah, but definitely the ranking was pretty
Pretty different.
different. That's cool. All right, well, that's going to wrap up 198. We appreciate everyone watching and listening. We'll be back next week with a back to our normally scheduled programming. Maybe we'll maybe there'll be some Switch 2 news. Well,
Switch 2,
we
maybe some
don't even
Xbox
know.
news. You never know.
Yeah, maybe some Xbox news. There's that rumored developer direct like they had last year. That could be really cool. Um, yeah, we'll talk about whatever news happens. Whatever games we're playing, and then 200, Nick. We haven't discussed a lot about it, but I think we did talk about going back and redoing our top 25. Is that what we're maybe potentially
Yeah, maybe
doing?
redoing top 25.
Okay.
Maybe looking at our past 5 top 10s and making a top 10 out of that. So
Okay.
condensing that 50 down to 10,
Yeah.
which would
Maybe we should do
theoretically be easy.
that. Maybe we'll do that.
Okay.
Like we'll have. I don't know. Do we want to build our? I don't know if we can build the list live. That might take a while. Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll,
Maybe.
we'll have to
Yeah. I
we'll
don't
have to
know.
workshop it a little bit and figure out how exactly we would want to do that.
Maybe that's one where we could build one list together. Like we,
Ooh, that'd be fun.
instead of having separate lists, maybe we
That
take
let
our
let's
top
let's do
3.
that. Let's do
Okay.
that. Yeah,
So
we'll do that.
let's like take our top 3 from each year, bring them in. We'll have 30.
I would say let's just do all 50 and we'll go through the list and be like, okay, we'll star it or whatever and say this is a lock in, and
Okay.
then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
The,
see what happens.
so there will be more than 50 games.
Because it'll be well, we'll have to go through the list. Yeah, we'll have to go through the list and see which games duplicate, and then we'll bring it
And then
down.
work from there.
Yeah,
Okay. That's gonna be fun.
yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Um, yeah, look forward to that. But yeah, next week's episode back to normal. All that good stuff. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys listening. Leave us a review on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, wherever you can. That definitely helps with engagement. We do have a YouTube channel now where we're posting the VOD version of the edited version of the podcast.
Mhm.
And follow us on TikTok. Do some
Always talking.
always
Talking on the
talking.
tick.
TikTok. Nick, any final thoughts?
It's a great year for games.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good year. 2024's got a lot of stuff and a lot of stuff that we probably don't even know about yet.
Oh yeah, we barely know. I feel like we barely know anything about the year.
I think we know like the first 3 or 4 months, and
Yeah.
that's it. So
Oh, it's gonna be lit.
it's exciting times. All right, guys. Well, we will see y'all next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.